Mastering obligations. The power of modal verbs. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll dive into the world of English grammar, focusing on one very important topic: modal verbs. Specifically, we'll explore obligation and necessity and how to express strong and weak obligations. It may seem complex at first, but don't worry, with our examples and practice exercises, you'll master it in no time. Let's get started. So, what are obligations and necessity in English? They are ways to express something that is required or something that has to be done. We often use modal verbs to express this. Remember, modal verbs are a type of auxiliary verb that expresses possibility, permission, ability, or obligation. Examples of modal verbs include can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. When we want to express a strong obligation, meaning something that is required or necessary, we often use the modal verb must. For example, 1. You must finish your homework before you can play. 2. I must remember to call my mom today. 3. We must wear masks to protect ourselves and others. In these sentences, the obligation is strong. There's a sense of necessity. On the other hand, when the obligation is not so strong, we can use other modal verbs such as should, ought to, or had better. These convey a suggestion or recommendation rather than a strict requirement. For example, 1. You should study before the test. 2. We ought to recycle to protect the environment. 3. He had better apologize for his behavior. Here, the obligation is weak, more of a recommendation or suggestion than a necessity. Now that we've gone over the basics, let's put it into practice with some exercises. I'll say a sentence and you decide if it's expressing a strong or weak obligation. 1. You must attend the meeting tomorrow. Strong. 2. They should try to arrive early. Weak. 3. I must start going to the gym. Strong. 4. She ought to eat healthier. Weak. 5. We had better get going if we want to beat the traffic. Weak. How did you do? Remember, the more you practice, the more natural it will become. And that's a wrap on today's lesson on modal verbs and expressing obligations. I hope this was helpful and you feel more confident using must, should, ought to, and had better to express strong and weak obligations. Keep practicing and I'll see you in our next lesson. Happy learning!